So, one of my favorite rappers that's going right now, Killer Mike, he's in the group Run the Jewels, was on Bill Maher last week, and they asked him the question of whether he thought, or what he would say to people who thought rap music was responsible for gang violence. His response was epic. I want you guys to watch this.
Mike, what do you say to people who link crime and violence to rap music?
After I say you're stupid? Rap music, hip-hop, as a entity, was started in the late 60s, early 70s. Bunch of kids were in the burnt-out gutter called the South. Yeah, I'm about to give it to you. I'm going to give you some game. Check this out. I know you didn't have like Jay and a lot of other guys.
I thought it was a little later than that.
No, I got you. Check me out. There's going to be a movie comes out called Rubble Kings. So in the late 60s, all these kids that were kind of the fallout kids of the black nationalist movement, civil rights, poor white people's movement, Puerto Rican nationalism movement, they had street gangs in New York, in the Bronx, that were just essentially burnt out. At some point, very late 60s, early 70s, these kids were like, we're going to come up with our own peace treaty. Came up with their own peace treaty, decided that we aren't going to engage in violence. Well, what's the alternative to violence? The Zulu Nation was born out of that. Africa Bambaataa, Cool Herc. Google these. I'm telling you, it's way bigger than any of the rappers you think now, and the story is way more interesting. These kids, they were children, got together in the park, stole public electricity, which I strongly support, and decided to do park jams as an alternative to violence. So hip-hop is not rap. Hip-hop is the thing that houses rap, graffiti, breakdancing, and DJing and entrepreneurship. And what it did was give poor kids the opportunity to organize as an alternative to violence. Now, fast forward 40 years, it worked. A lot of money came into it. Guys bought big chains and tigers and lions and bears and shit, and we got off course. But at our core, hip-hop, every time you see a successful rapper, you're seeing a job creator in a community. Jay-Z has provided hundreds of jobs and created dozens of millionaires, and has changed the economy in places that it wouldn't have been. Outcast in Atlanta personally changed the economy in the last 20 years. So I would say that people who say hip-hop is violence, I would say let's start with the real violence starters. Let's start with the 3 major Abrahamic religions, and let's do away with their books. Let's start with governments and geo-war and politics. Let's do away with our leaders. So after we get down the violent scale of all the things that create real violence to get to music, it'll be easy to get hip-hop, because people in hip-hop want to do the same thing you do. Talk shit about politics, smoke weed, and date dope black women. That's it.
Yeah, Mike really killed that question. And I just want to point out that the adoration of criminality, criminal life, didn't begin with hip-hop. Long before that, say the gangs of the Old West, right? Your Billy the Kid, James Gang, stuff of that nature. Bank robbers like John Dillinger, Bonnie and Clyde, idolized. Up into the Italian-American Mafia, figures like Lucky Luciano, say, or Al Capone.
The newspaper.
Yeah, reminds me of which, just today, poll released in today's newspaper, 59% of people polled agree with the mural of Al Capone, downtown Moose Jaw, which I'm not opposed to. But my point is, that's gangsterism.
He's a gangster.
He's a gangster, right? And these themes are prevalent in many forms of art and entertainment, not just music, not just hip-hop, like, say, movies, like The Godfather, Scarface, Goodfellas, Casino, right? Television shows, the best. My favorite show, The Sopranos, about gangsters.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Right? Breaking Bad, great
Criminals,
show.
drug dealers.
Criminals, drug dealers. Dexter,
The
serial
Wire.
killer. The Wire, heroin dealers, and the police trying to apprehend them.
Yeah.
Great television show. Now, why is it only when this happens in hip-hop is it's frowned upon or used as something to target the entire culture?
Yeah, I want a Bumpy Johnson mural.
Yeah.
Moose Jaw.
Let's get a Bumpy Johnson mural going. Like, for example, one of my favorite movies is by Alfred Hitchcock, Psycho. It's an adaptation of the book by the same name by Robert Bloch. Now, when Hitchcock put this out, he revitalized his career and helped cement his name or his status as, a master of his craft, right?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind this was based on the crimes of Ed Gein, who was a grave-robbing murderer who was sexually obsessed with his own mother. That's exactly what it was based on. Now, criminal themes in hip-hop in its case, are actually representative of the culture in which the hip-hop culture is born from.
Right.
In these neighborhoods, the breadwinners in many of these neighborhoods were the people that make their money through criminal means.
Yeah.
They were the ones that could drive around in big cars with flashy jewelry and clothes and provide the community with things that society didn't, like, say, turkeys at Christmas time. So that's basically the point I'm getting at, is in hip-hop, it's frowned upon. The rest of art, culture, society celebrate it, right? Like I got pictures of mobsters up in my house. Nobody bats an eye. But if that was a picture of, say, Kenneth McGriff from the Supreme Team, people are like, why do you got that gangster on your wall? And yeah, that's about my piece on that.
Well, yeah, I got some notes. Okay, I agree with that rap has inspired some gang violence. I agree with that. And I agree that rappers put lyrics in their songs sometimes that make gang violence seem pretty cool, right? But more than that, there are rappers that actually speak out against it, right? am willing to argue that rap music causes more people to stay away from gang violence than to get into it, right? That's most of these guys' core message. There's a bigger problem in popular music, and it's not rap. It's country music. Country music. No one talks about it. No one bats an eye at it. There is no bigger promoter of alcoholism than country music. Half the songs are about booze, and if they're not about booze, there's a setting in the song that takes place in a bar or at a party with booze involved, right? I want to talk some statistics here. In 2010, 2,541 people were killed in drunk driving related deaths. 300,000 were injured. 300,000. In 2013, you know how many gang murders there were in Canada? 126. What's the bigger problem here? Okay, look at Craven. The biggest music festival we have in this province is Craven. It's massive. People know about Craven all over the country. They know it because it's a big party. It's a 3-day drunk fest. You can binge drink. You can fight. You can sleep with women well below your standards without a condom, without showering before. That's what a lot of the people that go to Craven don't even go for the music, and they'll tell you that, right? Picture your daughter, 17 years old, let's say, at Craven for the first time, too much to drink in the afternoon, hanging out with like 40-year-old men who think the song Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off is an all-time classic. It's a date rape anthem. This is disgusting. We allow, like, as a culture, we allow our children, our daughters, to put themselves in these atmospheres, right? On average, another stat, there are anywhere between 35 and 50 arrests at every Craven music festival each year. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's like Ferguson, Missouri race riot.
With all the national coverage.
Right. What other festivals in the province have somewhere even close to that? The Regina Folk Festival, arrests, 0. The Saskatoon Jazz Festival, 0.
Booyah.
Boom. And there were rappers there.
But, Nick, are you telling me there was black rappers there?
There were black rappers there, okay? So, yeah, I agree that some of them make gang violence sound attractive. But every single country singer that I can think of promotes alcoholism. Find me one that doesn't. I don't think you will. And rappers speak out against the gang violence. Nas, Talib Kweli, Immortal Technique, Tupac, Mos Def. That's their core message, is stay away from the gangs, man. Mm-hmm. Stay away. Where are all the country musicians speaking out against the promotion of alcoholism? There isn't one. There isn't one. Where? Not only that, okay, it's systemic. That's the thing. They don't realize it's a problem. It's systemic. It's in the culture. We're just drinking beer, having a good time with their friends, right? There is this radical, fundamentalist, extremist view with country music now, and there are no moderates who speak out against it. And not even just with the alcoholism. The fact that they don't write their own music ever now. It's a rarity that country musicians write their music. The Nashville songwriting industry makes millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. It's a genre of music so conservative that it privatized its artistry, right? So they've got, not only are they responsible for the deaths of more children in the streets, they're also responsible for a lower quality of artistry. And it's sickening, and that we treat these people like artists when they're not. They're just performers. Artists create. You know who else is just a performer? Justin Bieber.
Oh!
Miley Cyrus. They're just performers. Why are we treating these country musicians like they're anything different? We idolize them. Okay? There's as I said, there's a radical, fundamental, extremist country slow poisoning of our popular culture. Where are all the moderates speaking out against it? Where are they? Where are all the moderate country music fans saying they disagree with this alcoholism the prevalence of alcoholism in the music, with this disgusting laziness, this refusal to write your own work. Where are all the moderates speaking out about this? There aren't any. Why is it we can make that link between rap music and gang violence, but not simultaneously make the same link between country music and drunk driving deaths? Because we're white. White people, I hate to invoke racism, but white people write the talking points for this country. Nobody wants to admit they're part of the problem. And when I say it's racist, I don't mean to say that you dislike black people. I mean that we put a different standard on black culture that we don't also put on white culture. That is the definition of racism, okay? We live in a society where we tolerate public drunkenness. Like if Digger's drunk today, walking the streets, everyone's like, oh, there's Digger, he's just drunk again. We tolerate that as a society, and I'm okay with that. But we have to accept responsibility for the problems that come with that. One of them is alcoholism, and one of them is drunk driving. The biggest promoter, I'm getting back to this, the biggest promoter of alcoholism is country music, okay? So not only is rap responsible for less deaths, it's also better music. Country is rife with laziness. And here's, like, rap is it's so much better. There is no space in rap music for honky tonk, badunk dunk.
What?
There's no space in rap music for she thinks my tractor's sexy.
Uh-huh.
There's no space in rap music for hold my beer. There is no space in rap music for 3 rounds with Jose Cuervo. If you think that Red Solo Cup is anything other than the worst song ever written, you are part of the problem. Wait. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. And then right here is where save a horse, ride a cowboy. Come on.
Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes my baby